I know you as Tom Grimes Cosplay, but
Yeah.
what is your name Tom or?
Yeah, it's Tom. It's Tom. Obviously, my surname isn't Grimes. My surname's Roberts. So Thomas Roberts is my birth name.
Thomas Roberts. Okay.
Yeah, Tom Grimes, just the cosplay.
But you know what? I was thinking over this morning about you guys, but in you in particular, because I wanted to admit that a lot of people say they want their Rick Grimes brown suede leather jacket that we make. They want it to look like the one that you have on. And I noted down the dates. The last time you posted it was on July 24th, 2020. And that was you and Taylor Grimes cosplay together. And then the second one is the last time you posted it was April 17th, 2020. People just love how it looks on you, you know, and the feeling that they get from you. So I was wondering if you'd talk about your wardrobe and what brought you to do what you're doing. And you just have so many people who admire you.
Yeah, well, it all started by accident, really. I never intended to go out and cosplay Rick Grimes. It was actually, I think it was 2021, 2019, beginning of 2019. We was invited to a fancy dress party later in the summer. Okay. And at the time I was starting to grow my hair. I usually used to have like a skinhead, you know, like really, really short hair.
Yeah.
And I started growing it. And it just so happened that obviously the longer it got, I was, you know, putting it backwards out of my way. And then with a little bit of a beard, people started saying, "Oh, that Rick Grimes, you."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right, okay. So that gave me the idea to for the fancy dress party. I thought, you know, if people are saying Rick Grimes, then I'll have a look at it.
Right.
Try to find an outfit, you know, for this fancy dress party. So that's how it basically started. I was just looking for a few bits, Googling Rick Grimes cosplay and outfit, costume, all those types of things. And that's pretty much where it come from. Anyway, we never ended up going to this fancy dress party. It never ended up happening. So I had all this stuff. And it was London Film and Comic Con, LFCC for short. Okay. That was coming in the summer. So I thought, you know, I've got all this stuff. So rather than not wearing it or not doing anything with it, I decided to cosplay as Rick Grimes. I actually went to meet some of the Cobra Kai cast, you know, William Zabka and then the young ones.
Yeah.
So I actually went to meet them and get their autograph. So I did that, and I took my costume in a little rucksack. And it was just after dinner, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I said to my wife, I said, "Should I put it on?" Because I was dead nervous, really, really scared.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I was like, so I went into the toilets, got changed, come out, you know, like a Superman transformation. And it was just from then, it's sort of like gave you the taste for what cosplay is all about. You know, people coming up to you and just complete strangers saying, "Oh, can I have a picture?" I was like, yeah, if you want. You know, that kind of thing. It was just like quite, I was quite taken aback by it, really.
Yeah.
And then that was my first experience. And then from then, like the back end of 2019, I probably went to about 4 or 5 Comic Cons after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. The whole of 2020, I haven't done anything other than for my Instagram, you know.
And well, there is a huge resemblance, obviously, and I totally understand where you're coming from about cosplay, because I haven't done too much of it myself. A little bit of the 13th Doctor, because if I had brown eyes and cut my hair short, you know, I might look a little bit like that lady, you know. But it feels good to make people happy. That's how I see it. Like, they see you and they love the Rick Grimes character, and they just, it's like a part of them. You know, we all have things that are very important to us in our lives that are part of our identity.
I have to agree, really, because obviously at the Comic Cons, that's where you meet all the cosplayers, of course. And I'm the same. You know, I'll see someone dressed as a certain character, and it's the same thing. It's like, oh, come on, let's get a picture. I think Batman, Superman. I've had pictures with all sorts of people, and it's the only place you can do it, isn't it? It's like you're meeting all your favorite characters.
True.
Portrayed by people who love them just as much as you do. So it's great, really.
I feel very lucky, and I've always been the kind of person that I think that people are more important than the product, and that's the emphasis that we place, that we really enjoy getting to know the people and having these conversations like I'm having with you. But I heard somebody told me that let's see what I can find it, because I jotted it down. They were telling me that a magazine did a feature write-up about you, and that you won Cosplayer of the Month. And I think a lot of people don't know that. Would you tell us about that?
That was way back at the beginning. I started my cosplay account on July 2019.
Okay.
Roughly. I don't know if it was the end or the beginning of the month. And obviously because the Walking Dead fandom, if you call it that, and the family, it's vast. So within like a couple of months or so, I was starting to get like followers and everything, and a bit of a backing. And I think it was Cosplay Zine. They were running a Cosplayer of the Month, and it was actually November. I think I got it. I got enough votes to obviously win the Cosplayer of the Month on November. So that was quite a short space of time, really. From July starting to August, September, October. 3 months in, the 4th month, I had enough votes to win a Cosplayer of the Month, which is I was quite taken aback, really.
Yeah. That I think you deserve it, because I asked different people without you knowing, what I should ask you and what they thought of you. And some of the adjectives that people kept throwing out there to me were distinct, classy, modest, versatile. And I totally agree with them, and I think that's what draws people to you, and why you have over 5,000 followers already. And it's just going to keep growing,
It does amaze me, really. Like I say, I was trying to find a shirt and a pair of jeans for a fancy dress party. That's how it all started out.
Amazing.
I know, exactly. It's obviously it's quite fulfilling in a way as well. You try and search all these things. Obviously, I'll never get the UGG jacket, I don't think, but the replica I've got from you guys is just second to none. Yourself, obviously, you've had people saying that they want their jacket to be how mine is. So that says a lot for you, for Suzahdi as well, really.
But we have room to improve, and we realize that. We're constantly working on, adjusting where I forget what you call these studs, where they are placed and how they go into the buttonhole. But this right here, I wanted to tell you this, Cosplay Craziness, the family.
Yeah.
They live in, I think, near Tampa, Florida, south of me.
Oh, no, they live in Illinois, don't they? Cosplays, that John and Cara. And,
that's it.
Yeah, those guys.
They're so
They're
sweet. They gave this to me. They gave me this jacket. It's an original.
I know.
Trying to help us improve our denim and corduroy jacket.
They did the same for me. They gave me this shirt here.
Wow. See,
that's the shirt from season 3. The shirt Rick wears in the prison.
Yes.
And then they sent the shirt to Taylor, my son, who does Carl as well, a screen accurate shirt for him. So it's the generosity of some people is just unbelievable, really.
I agree, and I told him that when we get a copy of the denim corduroy jacket, that kind of like what Rick Grimes wears, that he's one of the first ones we're going to make sure he gets one, just because he was so integral in helping us. And we've made a few. I think we sold maybe 10, but we're still way off, on being accurate. So we're working on it.
Getting there. You've got to start somewhere, haven't you? You've got to produce types to end up with the final product. So it's the step in the right direction, isn't it?
It is. And I was thinking, like, Rick Grimes' wardrobe, it's like a classic wardrobe. All the pieces in his wardrobe, if I were looking at it as a fashionista, And if I didn't know anything about The Walking Dead, and I just saw all these things, I would think these are staples. Everyone should have a denim jacket. Everyone should have a nice suede leather jacket. Everyone should have a denim long sleeve, you know, button up shirt and the plaid shirt. I mean, these are classics, period, you know? Yeah.
It's quite an expensive wardrobe, really.
I can imagine. And you mentioned like the original UGG jacket. I can't imagine how much one of those would be.
The last one I saw was it was on eBay probably 3 or 4 months ago. It might have been just before Christmas, and it was over £3,000.
Yeah. Wow.
It's frightening.
Man. And speaking of,
I'll never be able to afford a jacket at that price. And to be honest, as much as I'd like an original, even if I had the money, I couldn't part with that kind of money for a jacket.
yeah, I mean, like me, I have a family and I have grandchildren and all. I'd be thinking like, I need to spend that money on them, you know?
Exactly. It's a 2-week holiday for us.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, it is. And I love to travel. In fact, last year, my husband and I and some other people were going to Walker Stalker Con London. And it's sad to say the Monday before the opening Friday, they canceled, but we were on our flight. Thank goodness I didn't bring all the stuff.
Yeah.
Because they canceled it just before we got in the car to go take off on the flight. But we still went. We had so much fun there. I went to the Great Harry and we ran and walked up and down beside the River Thames, and we just did a whole lot of walking. It was kind of fun despite that they canceled it. And I heard that there's a Fandemic Dead in September in Atlanta. And I just said to myself, please let it be put on by people with integrity. You know, like if they really think they can't put it on, please don't say it's a real thing. But if they really think, you know, like 99% it's going to go, I just like to see a little more honesty and integrity. And if it does have to get canceled, would they please say credit for the next event? Don't just not refund or anything and go bankrupt. You know, I mean, what do you think about that?
The one you mentioned in London, I had tickets to go for that. As well, but luckily I got the refund and I was all right. I think I might have had to do it via the bank though. It wasn't through them directly. I had to go through my bank and, you know, raise a claim or whatever it was, and then but I got my money back. So I wasn't as stung like some people were who lost thousands of pounds. So it's unfortunate for them. And the hotel as well, if we cancelled it, we didn't incur a fee, so we could cancel, and that didn't cost us anything.
Fantastic. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you. What's your relationship with the Instagram individual Taylor Grimes Cosplay?
He's my son.
I thought so.
So
that is so cool. Your whole family does some things together, right?
So I like to get them involved. Like I said before about selfishness, I couldn't spend all that money on a jacket and instead of taking us on a family holiday. So rather than obviously they're willing and they're wanting to as well, rather than me being segregated and doing my own thing and going off, they join in.
And you have so much more fun.
Yeah, exactly. They like to get dressed up and have the photos taken and everything as well. It's quite funny really because I started off with myself a couple of Comic Cons, and then every time someone walked past, it was like, "Where's Carl? Where's Carl?" And then it was just me and my wife, and then she ended up dressing up as a female Negan, so we called her Sheegan.
Yeah.
And then it was like, "Where's Carl?" So it was like, right then, Carl Taylor can be Carl. So Taylor, do you want to dress up as Carl Grimes or what? What's that? So I showed him, you know, get pictures, put a few bits of the show that he can watch.
Yeah.
You know, just got him into it a little bit, and then that was that. He enjoys it just as much as I do. So,
really neat.
But it's a bit unfortunate, really, with Taylor because like I said, the last Comic Con was 2019, the back end. So all of his wardrobe, bar a jacket, is just outgrown. It's all too small for him now.
Oh, they grow so fast because my son, I cannot believe, I remember him being just this little kind of chubby boy with the blonde hair and big brown eyes, you know, and now he's 39 years old and has 2 kids, you know. It goes by fast. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So rather than, because I've been doing a few, you know, like photo shoots at home just to keep my Instagram ticking over. But I can't do anything with Taylor. There's no point getting him his whole outfit again just for him to outgrow it. So might as well wait till the Comic Con start.
Exactly.
Once we've got like a few dates set up in advance where we know it's going to be, you know, 5 or 6 Comic Cons in the next 3 months.
Right.
I'll start looking into, you know, buying him all the bits and everything again.
So what areas do you tend to go for Comic-Con events, and where would you like to go that you haven't been yet? Which events would you like to participate in? So both sides.
Yeah. The furthest I've travelled in England, it was the one in London that I mentioned. That's about 4.5 hours away, 4.5 hour drive.
Okay.
All the local ones, like I said, I've only been to 5 Comic Cons altogether. So London was the furthest one away, and all the other ones were probably about 2.5 hours to an hour and a half.
Okay.
Distance. But I do like the look of the German Comic Con. Germany have a really good Comic Con that always filled with Walking Dead people. That looks a good one.
What time of the year is that one usually?
I think they do a couple throughout the year. I think there's maybe one at the beginning and then one towards the end.
Okay.
So yeah, German, obviously that's probably as local or as close as I could get that's in another country. You know, the likes of going to America or Pandemic or anything like that, that's just way out of reach, unfortunately.
And you never know if enough people buy you a cup of coffee. Okay, everybody? I'm going to repeat that again at the end of this talk. Buy him a cup of coffee. It's a small thing.
I do
Everyone loves coffee, you know. So I just noticed that today. I thought, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, anyone who does that, I've had a few people do it. Like, but I've got some prints that I'll get their address off them and I'll just send them a print.
Nice.
You know, so they're getting something back. So they're getting something back from it. You know, it's not just there's some money. I'd like to give something back. So they do get a print, a signed print if they want it signing, or a little note. Usually people want a writ quote, you know, like a saying. So I'll write that and then just sign it off Tom Grimes at the bottom.
Right.
No, 2020, last year, was meant to be the year for that. I think there's 3 or 4 Comic Cons that we were booked to have. I've got my own backdrop, wooded backdrop.
Nice.
And everything props. So we was booked for 3 or 4, but obviously they've all been cancelled. So as of yet, I've not done it, but hopefully when they're back up and running, people will reinstate me, if you will, and then so hopefully this year, maybe next year.
Yeah, I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a new season coming up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What have you heard about it? What do you know is fact or hearsay? What are you excited about or not? You know,
just the fact that it's coming back on again next Sunday.
Yes.
10C, so another 6 bonus episodes.
Yes.
Which will be all right. I think these are delving into backstories of a few of the characters.
Okay.
Which will be interesting to see. We've seen the one for Negan. That looks the best one so far.
Yeah.
But then I think it might be October time, season 11.
Okay.
That's when it's all starting to wrap up, in it. So 24 episodes, an extra 8 in length. So it will take us well into 2022.
Oh, people really need that. They've been missing it so badly. I just see all the
becoming regular again each week. So we've got 6 weeks on the bounce now. So it'll keep us going for a little while.
Every Sunday night, right? Sunday nights
Yeah, well,
still?
yeah, it's Monday for us. We've got to wait till Monday.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family, um, one of the most popular hashtags for TWD is hashtag TWD family. And for Rick Grimes, sometimes it's
Yeah.
hashtag Rick Grimes family or hashtag Rick Grimes love and so on and so on. But I just think about how it's kind of interesting and strange that The Walking Dead does have this family aura to it. In fact, there's a family in Pensacola, Florida that they used to invite me over every Sunday night to come watch it with them. And I would go because they were diehard fans. They knew everything
Yeah.
about it. And I said, I need your help to research the Rick Grimes character. Help me.
Yeah, just having that something to look forward to each week again. That's what's good about it as well. It's like Walking Dead tonight. You're walking around all day like Walking Dead tonight. I must say it about 10 times the day that it's on.
What day is today?
Walking
Is
Dead
it
tonight.
is it Monday? I totally understand, Wow. So I don't know. I'm so happy that you agreed. You're the first person that asked. And like I said, one of the people are very much loving many of the Rick Grimes cosplayers. But I had thought of you first because of all the requests, especially the picture of you. And like I said, at Taylor Grimes Cosplay. It's so cool that he's your son. But they could it's like that TW family look. They could see it between the two of you, and it's that kind of thing that makes people feel so good.
Yeah, it's good because it has that real authenticity about it. It's actually my son. So
Yes.
it's like the best bonus you can have, really.
Did he have short hair normally, and did he let it grow a little longer for that?
Yeah, no, some of his pictures early on, it's a wig, but then there's some pictures where with the backdrop that I mentioned, there's a lot of pictures where we're in front of that, and he actually grew his hair. So his hair that's his genuine hair. Okay. So he did have long hair, but because there's no Comic Con, he's like, Dad, can you cut me hair? I was like, are you sure you want him? He's like, yeah, can I? So then he just cut it. I thought if he doesn't have to have it long, if he doesn't want to have it long. And then he's got a wig, so if he wants to shove that on, he can. Plus, in the earlier seasons, he's only 11. Yeah. And Carl in the earlier seasons was 10 and 11 anyway, and he only had short hair.
Wow.
When he was more of a teenager, his hair started getting longer, wasn't it? So, I don't know. Going back to the pictures and everything, people want a quote. It's usually along the lines of, this is how we live now, or it isn't a democracy anymore. Those kind of things, really.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look up the Rick Grimes quotes because every once in a while I look at that. But it is now one of my favorite characters because of people like you. And we hope you'll keep on enjoying it with your family. I think it's so cool that your wife and your son do this kind of thing together, and looking forward to the world getting healthier so that we can all get back to hanging out together and, not be afraid.
Unless you've got AMC Plus, I believe, over in America, then you can, I think it's tonight, you can watch it.
Oh my goodness.
If you've got AMC Plus, it's an added bonus for you. But yeah, the general release is next Sunday, the 28th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm Suzanne from Suzahdi, but that's not what's important. What's important is this gentleman right here, Tom Grimes Cosplay on Instagram. Do you have any other places on the social media that people can follow you and be in touch?
Yeah, Facebook, same on there, just Tom Grimes Cosplay on Facebook and Instagram. Although Instagram is my main go-to. And
you have let's see, where can people go to get you a cup of coffee?
There's a link in my bio on Instagram.
On Instagram, that's right. Okay, yeah.
If anyone wants to have a little chat, ask me a few questions, or buy me a coffee, then Instagram, I'll answer you and I'll respond ASAP.
Nice. That's very cool.
I do get a lot of people asking me questions like, "Oh, where did you get your jacket?" or "Where can I get that shirt?" and those kind of things. A lot of people every day somebody messages me, and I'll always respond. So.
Well, everybody does appreciate that. Yeah. Well,
Thanks.
thank you. We
Yeah,
really appreciate it here, All right.
definitely. Thank you very much.
All right. And that's Tom Grimes Cosplay on
Yep.
Instagram.
Thank you.
Yay.